92% of New Year's resolutions fail. By February, nearly everyone who started with determination is back to their old patterns. The gym membership goes unused. The book stays unread. The side project collects dust. But here's what's fascinating. It's not about willpower. It's not about wanting it badly enough. The 8% who succeed aren't more disciplined. They're using a completely different system. And that system is backed by neuroscience, not motivation. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why most resolutions fail, and more importantly, you'll have the 4-step framework that actually works. Most people approach New Year's resolutions the same way. They pick a big goal, rely on motivation, and expect willpower to carry them through. This is exactly backwards. Here's the problem. Motivation is a finite resource. Stanford researcher B.J. Fogg spent 20 years studying behavior change and found that motivation naturally fluctuates. You can't count on it. Even the most driven people have low motivation days. But we've been taught to treat motivation as the fuel when it's actually just the spark. The real issue, your brain is literally wired to resist change. Neuroscientist Wendy Wood's research shows that 43% of what we do daily is automatic. Habits, not decisions. Your brain loves efficiency. It wants to conserve energy by running on autopilot. A new resolution? That's manual mode. That's work. That's why it feels so hard. And that 21 days to form a habit myth? Complete fiction. A 2009 University College London study tracked people actually building habits. The average time? 66 days. Some took over 250 days. The myth is based on a 1960s plastic surgery study that had nothing to do with behavior change. So if motivation is unreliable and habits take months, how do the 8% actually succeed? The 8% use what I call the blueprint method. 4 steps that work with your brain's natural wiring, not against it. Step 1. Design for failure. This sounds counterintuitive, but it's the most important step. You need to assume you'll face obstacles. Most people plan for perfect conditions. They say, I'll go to the gym every morning at 6 a.m. Then one morning, they sleep in, feel like a failure, and quit entirely. Instead, design for the reality that life will interfere. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, calls this implementation intentions. It's the if-then planning that actually works. If I miss the morning workout, then I'll do a 10-minute session at lunch. The University of Pennsylvania found that people who planned for obstacles were 35% more likely to stick with their goals. Why? Because when the obstacle came, they didn't see it as failure. They saw it as the expected scenario they'd already solved for. Step 2. Identity shift, not outcome focus. Here's what most people do. They focus on the result. I want to lose 30 pounds, or I want to read 52 books. But the breakthrough research from Stanford shows that lasting change happens at the identity level. Don't say, I want to work out more. Say, I'm becoming someone who prioritizes health. Don't say, I want to write a book. Say, I'm a writer. Why does this matter? Because identity drives behavior automatically. If you see yourself as a healthy person, choosing a salad isn't a discipline battle. It's just who you are. The behavior becomes self-reinforcing. A 2019 study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that identity-based habits lasted 3 times longer than outcome-based ones. The people who succeeded didn't just do the behavior, they became the person who does that behavior. Step 3. Start absurdly small. B.J. Fogg's breakthrough insight. If you want to build a lasting habit, make it so easy you can't say no. Not, Work out for an hour, do one push-up. Not write 1,000 words, write one sentence. Not meditate for 20 minutes. Take 3 deep breaths. This isn't about low ambition. It's about building the neural pathway. Once you do one push-up, you'll probably do 5. Once you write one sentence, you'll often write a paragraph. But even if you don't, you still win. You still showed up. You still reinforced the identity. The data backs this up. Fogg studied over 40,000 people using his tiny habits method. The ones who started with laughably small behaviors had an 80% success rate after 90 days. Compare that to the 8% overall resolution success rate. Step 4. Create environmental triggers. Your environment shapes your behavior more than willpower ever could. Duke University research found that context cues, visual reminders, physical placement, even lighting, account for over 50% of whether a habit sticks. Want to read more? Don't rely on remembering. Put the book on your pillow in the morning so you see it at night. Want to drink more water? Put a full glass on your desk before you sit down. Want to exercise? Sleep in your workout clothes. This is called choice architecture, and it's the secret weapon of the 8%. They don't battle willpower. They engineer their environment so the right choice is the obvious choice. One Stanford study had people trying to eat healthier. Group A relied on willpower. Group B rearranged their kitchens, putting fruit in visible spots, hiding junk food. After 30 days, Group B maintained their healthy eating at a 71% rate. Group A, 22%. Let's see how this actually works. Say your resolution is exercise regularly. Design for failure. Your plan is gym at 7 a.m., but your backup is a 10-minute home workout if you sleep in. Your backup is a 5-minute walk at lunch if the day gets away from you. Identity shift. You don't say, I need to exercise more. You say, I'm becoming someone who moves their body daily. Start absurdly small. Day 1, 1 push-up. Day 2, 2. Week 1, just show up, even if it's a 60-second plank. Environmental trigger. Your workout clothes are laid out the night before. Your gym bag is by the door. Your phone alarm says, time to honor who you're becoming. Now here's the part most people miss. These steps compound. You're not just building a habit, you're building an identity and a system that protects that identity. The common mistakes? People skip step 1 and assume perfect execution. They skip step 2 and rely only on willpower. They make step 3 too ambitious and burn out. They ignore step 4 and leave success to chance. But when you use all 4 steps together, something remarkable happens. By week 3, the tiny behavior isn't tiny anymore, not because you forced it, but because it naturally expanded. By week 6, you're not fighting resistance. The new behavior is starting to feel normal. By week 12, you've crossed the threshold where the habit becomes automatic. Research from the European Journal of Social Psychology found that the habit formation threshold, the point where it feels more natural to do it than not, averages 66 days. But here's the key. You only reach that threshold if you don't quit. And you only don't quit if your system is designed for real life, not perfect life. So why does this work when everything else fails? Because most people are trying to run on pure willpower, a resource that depletes. They're fighting their brain's natural resistance to change. They're planning for perfection in an imperfect world. The 8% who succeed aren't superhuman. They're not more disciplined. They've just aligned their approach with how behavior change actually works. They design for obstacles. They shift identity. They start so small that failure is almost impossible, and they engineer their environment to make success the path of least resistance. After 90 days of this method, you won't just have a new habit, you'll have a new operating system. You'll understand that lasting change isn't about trying harder, it's about designing smarter. Here's your action step right now. Pick one resolution. Just one. Apply the blueprint method to it this week. Design for your most likely failure scenario. Define the identity you're building toward. Make the first step embarrassingly small, and set up one environmental trigger today. That's it. That's how you join the 8%. If you want a full breakdown of how to track this over 30 days, I'm creating a follow-up implementation guide. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And drop a comment. What's the one resolution you're actually going to make stick this year? Remember, 92% fail because they rely on motivation. You won't, because you're building a system. See you in the next one.